It is now time to consider a great puzzle. This puzzle is a puzzle of existence, and thinking about this puzzle could unlock great insights into the foundation of all existence. I begin this puzzle by pointing to a familiar observation. Consider leaves. They're blowing in the wind, changing shape and pattern and form. These leaves, their shape, their pattern, their form, all come from prior states of reality. The leaves don't just come from nothing. They come from something prior to them. This is an instance of a universal observation that things come from other things. States come from other states. And this observation of existence is without exception. Everywhere you look, you see that things come from other things. If there are exceptions, those exceptions are imagined or posited, but they are not seen or observed. So this universal observation suggests a basic principle, that things can't exist unless they come from other things. However, this principle can't be true. It can't be true because of a second observation. The second observation is that reality in its totality didn't come from anything beyond itself. It couldn't have, because there's nothing real beyond reality in its totality. Reality in its totality includes everything real. So there can't be anything real outside of reality that could have caused it or produced it. Now this is strange. It's strange because it contradicts our universal observation of cause and effect, that things come from other things. Thinking about this puzzle reminds me of a movie I saw years ago. I don't remember the name of the movie or anything about it really, except for this one scene where there was a world discovered underneath somebody's sink. Somebody looked under their sink and there was some kind of, tunnel or something that sucked them into a world that was under their sink. And when they went into the world, somebody in that world was asking where that world came from, and they didn't know where it came from. Well, it seems really intuitive that their world didn't just come from nothing. The world under the sink, if you saw a world under your sink, you'd wonder, how did that get there, right? You wouldn't think it just got there from nothing, it just appeared from nothing. You would think, according to universal observation, that this world under the sink came from somewhere. But then if that's true of the world under the sink, why isn't it true of the world outside of the sink? The whole world, our world. How did that come to be? How could our world exist? You might think that the only way to answer that is in terms of something that produced our world. Yet our world includes everything. So there's nothing that is beyond our world that's actually real that could have produced it. And that leads to the puzzle. How can it both be the case that all the things that we observe have outside causes and explanations, whereas the world as a whole has no outside cause or explanation? How is that even possible? In this video, I want to consider a few solutions that I don't think answer this puzzle. My goal is for you to really appreciate the puzzle, to wrestle with it, and to ponder it, because pondering this puzzle is a key that unlocks greater insight, and that insight we'll explore in subsequent videos. So let's consider a few solutions. The first solution, I call this the easy solution or the simple solution. It's just to say that the whole of reality, our world in its totality, didn't come from something else beyond itself just because it can't. By definition, it is the whole of reality, and it would be a contradiction for there to be something real beyond all of reality. So there can't be a cause of the whole of reality, and that's the solution to the puzzle. This is why the whole of reality has no cause, because it can't have a cause. The problem, however, is that this doesn't actually solve the puzzle. This just restates the puzzle. Yes, the whole of reality can't have a cause in terms of something outside of reality. That would be a contradiction. But the whole question is, how can there be something that can exist without an outside cause? Imagine, for example, the chicken view of reality. This is the view that reality in its totality is a giant chicken. The problem with this view is that chickens, as we understand them, come from prior states. Chickens are dependent realities. They can't exist on their own independently of any cause or explanation. And so the whole of reality can't be a giant chicken if chickens have to have a cause and the whole of reality has no cause. So what could the whole of reality be? The whole question is, how could there be a whole of reality at all? How could there be something that exists without an outside cause? Think again about the world inside the sink. There's a sense in which it was a whole world. It didn't include everything, but it included everything that was relevant to that world. Yet that world couldn't just exist on its own. It seems it had to have been caused by something. Big things and little things, collections of things, wholes of things, whole movies, whole shows, whole planets, whole galaxies, all those things seem to come from something else. The whole point of the puzzle is to draw our attention to this question about how any reality of any size, shape, or constitution could exist without coming from something else. How is that even possible? I mean, you might think, if you didn't know any better, that it's just not possible for there to be a reality, that no reality could exist. Because as soon as there's a reality, that reality has to come from something, but then there's nothing beyond all of reality to produce that reality. And so the solution to the puzzle is that really there's just nothing. But there isn't nothing. There's actually something. There's you, there's me, there's this video that you're watching. And so if there's something, then there's the whole of all of it, and that has no cause, and that's strange. How can that even be? It looks like differences in shape and size and even age aren't relevant differences to account for how something can exist uncaused, how it can just be there. I mean, if something were the size of an entire planet, that doesn't thereby allow it to exist uncaused. It seems like this difference in size makes no difference. Difference in shape. It's not like an octagonal shaped thing can just spring into being more easily than a hexagonal shaped thing, at least not without some cause or condition that can allow for it to exist. Without any cause or condition, it's strange, it's mysterious how anything could exist, how the whole of reality could exist. Now here's a solution you might consider. Maybe there's some being, call this being God, and this being wanted there to be a reality. And so this being decided, let there be a reality, and then, by its power, it produced all of reality. The problem, however, with this solution is that if God is real, then God is part of the reality that is to be explained. If God actually is real, rather than not real, then reality includes God. If you appeal to a being that's within reality to explain all of reality, then you have an appeal to an outside cause or explanation. But that contradicts our observations that things have outside causes and explanations in order for them to exist. Chickens don't just make themselves exist. Now you might think that there could be something special in the case of God, but so far we haven't seen what that could be. We haven't seen a solution to this puzzle. The whole point of the puzzle is to draw our attention to what could be special. Merely saying that there is something special doesn't solve the puzzle. We already know that in order for reality as a whole to exist, reality as a whole has to be in some way special in the sense that it, unlike other things we see, has no outside cause or explanation. The whole question, though, is how that's possible. Here's a final consideration. You might think this puzzle is just too hard. Maybe there is no solution. You know, people are trying to think about these things, but they're abstract, they're difficult to think about. Maybe the humble thing to do is to just admit that we don't know, don't have a way of knowing. This is not the kind of thing that we can know. But how could we really come to know that? I mean, knowing that we can't know something like this is itself difficult. The puzzle is puzzling, and rather than solve the puzzle here, I want to conclude this video by drawing attention to something significant about thinking about puzzles. It is easy to run away from puzzles or to look for the easiest solution. But I want to suggest to you that if instead of running from a puzzle or just trying to solve it in the easiest way, we let the puzzle puzzle us. By seeking a solution to the puzzle that really satisfies the puzzle, not just a simple solution that satisfies one angle of the puzzle, but that really fully answers the puzzle. So at this point, I just leave you with the puzzle to think about. Seeing this puzzle is the next step in the Bridge of Reason. Just seeing that there is this kind of question. How can there be a whole of reality that exists without any outside cause or explanation? How is that possible? Seeing that question is the step that will then lead us to the next steps in the Bridge of Reason. Thank you for watching this video. Stay curious.